Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel, Creative Grandma. Today's crochet tutorial is for the Lacey Scalloped Dishcloth. This beautiful little dishcloth is going to bring a fun element into your kitchen for doing those chores of doing the dishes. What a fun way to brighten up your kitchen this spring summer season. Now this dishcloth is between advanced beginner and intermediate skill level, but if you know your basic stitches, I'll walk you step by step and round by round through the process of making this beautiful dishcloth. Now this dishcloth I'm going to measure from the edge of this petal down to the edge of this petal. So it measures about 8.5 inches. So just the perfect size for doing the dishes. Now this dishcloth was made with Premier Home cotton, and I'll show you everything you need to make this pattern. I'll also have a special link to the Premier Home cotton where you can view all the beautiful colors, and you can make this dishcloth all in one color. I think it looks pretty when you accent it with a second color. You can even use a third color if you want to start with one color, add a second color, even a third color. It's all up to you of how you want to put your colors together in this dishcloth. I just thought it was fun using the two contrasting colors. So let me tell you everything you're going to need to make this pattern today. So for our project today, I'm using the Premier Home cotton. You're going to need two different colors, or if you want to use more colors than that, you can. You can use up your stash, you can use one color, but for this particular pattern today, I'm using two colors. I have chose the white and I have chose the rainbow color. Now when you go to Premier's website, I'll have a special link. It'll take you directly to the Premier Home cotton page, and when you look, you'll notice the solid colors have more yardage. The rainbow color, they have 96 yards compared to 131 yards of the solid color. So let's go over the details of the yarn. The solid colors come in 131 yards, 120 meters. It's a 2.65 ounce, 75 grams. It's 85% recycled cotton, 15% polyester. And that extra 15% polyester helps keep the colors staying fresh longer. Now this is classified as a number 4 medium weight yarn. It is machine wash warm, tumble dry low on low heat. So the rainbow color I'm using, this comes in a 96 yard skein, 88 meters, 1.94 ounces, 55 grams. Again, it's 85% recycled cotton, 15% polyester. All the information is the same. Now I did forget to give you the color number. The white is color 3801 and the rainbow is color 44-03. And again, I'll put a link and you can click that link and you can see all the different colors that Premier has available, and you can choose whichever colors you wish. You're also going to need a size I9 or 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So let's go ahead and get started on our dishcloth. You want to grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get our project started. To begin our project, I already have my yarn attached to my hook and I just used a double knot. You can use whichever method you prefer to join your yarn. Now I want to remind everyone all my crochet tutorials are filmed using USA crochet terms. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our beginning chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus a chain to work our stitches. We're going to work a total of 13 double crochet into the 4th chain from hook. You're going to yarn over, skip 1, 2, 3 chains, insert into the 4th chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your first double crochet of 13. Double crochet back into that same chain, and this chain should get larger as you're working your stitches. That is 2 of 13. Double crochet back into that same chain. That is 3 of 13. So go ahead and continue and work 10 more double crochet into that same chain, and I'll meet you at the end of round 1. I'm over at the end of round 1. You have your beginning chain 3, and then you work 13 double crochet in the 4th chain from hook. So you should have a total of 14 double crochet counting that beginning chain 3. So now we're going to join. So you're going to count up to the top of that beginning chain 3, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top of that chain, slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. So we are done with our white, so I'm just going to go ahead and fasten off, and I like to leave that longer length because of using my yarn needle to weave in my ends. I chain 2, 1, 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. And this just creates a secure join. And then you just take your yarn to the back with the yarn needle, weave it down through the stitch, over through, skip a strand, come back through, and if this yarn is long enough, even go through a 3rd time. So now we are ready to begin round 2, and round 2 I'm using my multicolor, so grab your next color and let's begin round 2. To begin round 2, I already have my next color attached to my hook, and I just use a double knot. I'm going right back up to our joining stitch where this chain 3 is, and I'm going to insert my hook under the top 2 loops of that first stitch. So you may have to use the hook end of your hook, because if you use a knot like I do, it does get pretty tight. Insert under the top 2 loops and then slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. We're going to begin with the chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. This beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. Then you want to go ahead and find your beginning chain 3, and we're going to work a front post double crochet around that joining stitch. You're going to yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're going underneath the post of that beginning chain 3, yarn over, pull underneath and around. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your front post double crochet. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. So what I like to do is I like to make sure I pull these stitches all the way over to the side so you can see the next stitch clearly. If you cover that up, you may miss that stitch and go into the wrong stitch. So make sure you pull them over. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Now we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of that same stitch. You're going to yarn over, come back to the same stitch. You're going to insert from front to back, back to front around the post of the same stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. You just made your front post double crochet. Let's do the repeat again. Again, make sure you pull those stitches back so you can see the next stitch. You're going to work 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Then we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the same stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front around that same stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your front post double crochet, and that is the end of the repeat. So I'll show you one more time. You're going to double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And now we're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the same stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front around the post of the same stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is the end of the repeat. So if you need additional help, just click back on the video. You're going to work 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Then you're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the same stitch. You're going to repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2. We ended with a double crochet into the top of the last stitch and a front post double crochet around the post of the last stitch. We're back over to our beginning chain 3. So now we're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top of that chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. So we are done with our multicolor. You should have a total of 28 stitches around, and now we're going to fasten off. Now remember, leave that longer length so you can use your yarn needle to weave in those ends. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So now we are ready to begin round 3. So you want to go ahead, grab your white, and let's begin round 3. So to begin round 3, I already have my white attached to my hook, and we're going to go up to where we joined our yarn. We're going to skip this joining stitch, and we're going to join in the top of this next stitch. You're going to insert under the top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook, and then just make sure these ends are to the back. We're going to begin, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Our beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. We're going to double crochet back into the top of that same stitch. And now we're going to work a front post double crochet around the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front around that next stitch. You're going underneath the post of the stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. So you have to make sure when you're working this pattern, you can see how when you make the front post double crochet, how it almost covers up this next stitch. So if you're sitting there and you're holding your work like this, you're going to go in the wrong stitch. Make sure that you're pulling those stitches back. To begin the repeat, you're going to work 2 double crochet into the top of that next stitch. 1, and 2. Then you're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front around that next stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That is the end of the repeat. Let's do the repeat again. You're going to work 2 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. 1, and 2. Then you're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're going underneath the post of that next stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So let me show you one more time. Again, you're going to pull those stitches back so you can see the next stitch very clearly. You're going to work 2 double crochet into the top of that next stitch. 1, and 2. Then you're going to work a front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, insert from front to back, back to front. You're going underneath the post of that stitch. Yarn over, pull underneath and around. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue, pull those stitches back, work 2 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and a front post double crochet around the post of this next stitch. Repeat that around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. I'm over at the end of round 3. You should have a total of 42 stitches around, so it's best if you just do a real quick stitch count so you don't get to the next round and realize you have to rip something out or correct something. You end with a front post double crochet into that beginning chain 3. We skipped the beginning chain 3 and started in the next stitch, so your last stitch is worked in that beginning chain 3. So now we're back over to the beginning of our round. So we're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3, count up 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into the top chain, and then slip stitch through that chain and through the loop on your hook. So round 3 is finished, and now we're ready to begin round 4. To begin round 4, we're going to skip the joining stitch and we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So again, skip the joining stitch, insert into the top of the next stitch, and we're going to work a slip stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. We're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, insert under the top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. We're going to begin in the top of that first front post double crochet. We're going to chain 1. Now this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. You're going to half double crochet, yarn over, insert back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch. You have 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You just made a half double crochet. You're going to chain 2. Then you're going to work a half double crochet back into that same stitch. You just made a half double crochet V-stitch. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches and start your repeat in the top of this next front post double crochet. Half double crochet into the top of that front post double crochet, chain 2, and then half double crochet back into that same stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it again. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches and into the top of that next front post double crochet, work a half double crochet, chain 2, and then half double crochet back into the top of that same stitch. So let's do the repeat one more time together. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, half double crochet into the top of that next front post double crochet. You're going to chain 2 and then half double crochet back into the top of that same stitch. And that is the end of the repeat. You can see how your pattern is forming. If you need additional help, just click back on the video. Again, you're going to skip the next 2 stitches, work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet in the top of that next front post double crochet. You're going to repeat that around until you have 2 stitches remaining, and I'll meet you at the end of round 4. I'm over at the end of round 4. This is what your work should look like. You should have 2 stitches remaining when you get to the end of the round, and you should have a total of 14 V-stitches around. So to end the round, you're going to skip the last 2 stitches and you're going to join in the top of this beginning half double crochet. You're going to skip that beginning chain 1, go up to the top of that beginning half double crochet, insert under the top 2 loops, and then slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. Round 4 is finished. So to begin round 5, we're going to skip this beginning half double crochet and we're going to slip stitch into the first chain 2 space. Insert underneath the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull back through, and pull through the loop on your hook. For this round, we're going to be working into the chain 2 space of each V-stitch around. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 1. Now this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. You're going to half double crochet back into that same chain 2 space, half double crochet back into the same chain 2 space. You're going to chain 2 and then work 2 more half double crochet into the same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. For our repeat, we're going to work 2 half double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 half double crochet into the chain 2 space of each V-stitch around. So let's begin. You're going to yarn over, go to your next V-stitch, insert under the chain 2 space, work 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Then you're going to work 2 more half double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. So when you look at your work, you're going to have 2 half double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 half double crochet all into the chain 2 space in the center of that V-stitch. Let's do it again. You're going to yarn over, go to your next V-stitch, insert under the chain 2 space, work 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. Then you're going to work 2 half double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Go to your next V-stitch, work 2 half double crochet into the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2 and then work 2 more half double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1 and 2. So when you look at your work, you can see how your pattern is forming. So go ahead and continue and work 2 half double crochet, a chain 2, and 2 half double crochet in the chain 2 space of each V-stitch around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 5. I'm over at the end of round 5. We work 2 half double crochet, a chain 2, 2 half double crochet in the chain 2 space of each V-stitch around, and you're going to have a total of 14 half double crochet shell stitches around. So we're back over to our beginning shell stitch. We're going to join in the top of that beginning half double crochet. You're going to skip the beginning chain 1, insert under the top 2 loops of that first half double crochet, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So we are done with our white, so we're going to go ahead and fasten off. Make sure you leave that longer length to help weave in those ends. You're going to chain 2, pull your hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So now we're going to go back to our next color. I'm using the rainbow color or whatever color you wish. Grab your next color and let's begin round 6. To begin round 6, I have my accent color. I'm using the rainbow color. I'm going back up to where I fastened off, and we're going to join in the chain 2 space of that first shell. You're going to insert underneath the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. And you just want to make sure your end is on the back of your work. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Our beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. We're going to work 8 double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So when you look at your work, you'll have your beginning chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet, and then 8 more double crochet for a total of 9 stitches. You're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space of the next shell stitch, insert underneath the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through that space, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. We're going to work 9 double crochet into the chain 2 space of the next shell and then slip stitch into the next shell. So let's begin. Yarn over the hook, go to your next shell stitch, insert underneath the chain 2 space, work 9 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then you're going to go to your next shell stitch and slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Insert underneath the chain 2 space of the next shell, yarn over, pull through that chain 2 space and through the loop on your hook. And that is the end of the repeat. Let's do it one more time together. You're going to yarn over, go to your next shell stitch, insert under the chain 2 space, work 9 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go to your next shell stitch and work a slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Insert underneath the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. And that is the end of the repeat. And you can see how your pattern is forming. So go ahead and continue. You're going to work 9 double crochet into the next chain 2 space and then slip stitch into the next chain 2 space. Repeat that around and I'll meet you at the end of round 6. I'm over at the end of round 6. You should have a total of 7 of the 9 double crochet fan stitches and you're going to have 7 slip stitches made around. You end with a slip stitch in the last chain 2 space, and now we're going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3. Now the beginning chain 3 is clear down here. You want to count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top of the beginning chain 3, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. So we are done with our multicolor, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. Again, I like to leave that longer length for weaving in. I chain 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. And then you just want to weave your ends in on the back of your dishcloth, going through those stitches, back again, and if it's long enough, go through a 3rd time. So now we are going to change to our white, so grab your white and let's begin round 7. To begin round 7, I have my white attached to my hook with a double knot, and I'm just going up to where we fastened off in that beginning chain 3. I'm going to insert right back into the top of that joining stitch, so you're going to go right under the knot, or you can go under these 2 loops. I'll go under the top 2 loops of that stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. And then just make sure your ends are to the back of your work. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 1. Now this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to work a half double crochet back into that same joining stitch, and it will be off to the side of the stitch a little bit. And then you're going to chain 1. So now we're ready to begin our repeat. We worked in this beginning chain 3, so you're going to go over to the very next stitch, work a half double crochet under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, and chain 1. Half double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then chain 1, and that's our repeat. Half double crochet into the top of the next stitch, chain 1, and again half double crochet into the top of the next stitch and chain 1. So go ahead and continue, work 1/2 double crochet in the top of the next stitch and then chain 1. You're going to do that in every stitch and every slip stitch around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 7. I'm over at the end of round 7. This is what your dishcloth should look like. And we have 1/2 double crochet and a chain 1 space in each stitch and each slip stitch around. So when you end the round, you're ending with a 1/2 double crochet, chain 1 in that ending slip stitch. Then we're going to come over to our first 1/2 double crochet and join, insert under the top 2 loops of that first 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, pull through that stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. So I am done with my white, so I'm going to fasten off, chain 2, pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off with the last round where I take the multicolor back out to the outside. So grab your accent color and let's begin our final round, round 8. To begin round 8, I have my rainbow color attached to my hook, and again I use a double knot. I'm going to go back up where we fastened off. This is our beginning stitch. We're going to skip this joining stitch and we're going to slip stitch into the first chain 1 space. You're going to insert underneath the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. And then just make sure your ends are to the back of your work. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 1, and this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And we're going to single crochet back into that same chain 1 space. So now we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the next 1/2 double crochet and single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And we need to do that 8 times. So that is 1 of 8, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 2 of 8, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 3 of 8, chain 1, skip the next 1/2 double crochet, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That is 4 of 8, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 5 of 8, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 6 of 8, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 7 of 8, chain 1, and then single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And that's 8. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet 2 together across the next 2 chain 1 spaces. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. For our repeat, I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and I'm going to do that a total of 8 times. So instead of repeating myself over and over, I'm just going to do the stitches and give you the count number. So let's begin. You're going to chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to chain 1 and then single crochet 2 together across the next 2 chain 1 spaces. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So let's do the repeat one more time together. Again, you're going to chain 1, and single crochet into the next chain 1 space a total of 8 times. That's 1 of 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet 2 together across the next 2 chain 1 spaces. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And that is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and continue. So if you need additional help, just click back on the video. After you do your single crochet 2 together, then you're going to start in chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space a total of 8 times. You're going to chain 1 and then single crochet 2 together across the next 2 chain 1 spaces. Repeat that around and I'll meet you at the end of round 8. I'm over at the end of round 8. This is what your work should look like. Now I did forget to mention that when you work your last fan around this last section, you're only going to chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space 7 times. So you'll work that pattern over until you have 2 chain 1 spaces remaining. So again, you're going to have 1 less in this last span. So after you make that single crochet 2 together, working across your last span, you're going to chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 1 space 7 times, and then you'll have 2 chain 1 spaces remaining. So you want to end the round with a single crochet 2 together in the last 2 chain 1 spaces. You're going to chain 1, insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to join in the top of that beginning single crochet. Insert under the top 2 loops of that first stitch, yarn over and pull through that stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. So I am done with my rainbow color, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. And again, I like to leave that longer length. You're going to chain 2, pull your hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So I'm going to go ahead, weave in my ends, and I'll be back and show you the finished dishcloth. So our dishcloth is finished. This is what it looks like. This is the front. And when you turn it over, this is the back. Just a very pretty way to have something pretty in your kitchen for doing those chores of washing the dishes. So let's go ahead and take a measurement. So when you measure point to point, it's going to be about 8.5 inches, just the perfect size for doing the dishes. If you enjoyed this crochet tutorial, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here on Creative Grandma's channel. So until next time, stay inspired and happy crocheting. Bye, everyone.